Backyard Bullion here. Now there's no denying that the silver and gold markets are pretty crazy right now. There are bull markets. It's nice to see, but also a little bit scary. I don't know about all of you, but I don't really know how to react to a great deal of what's going on with silver and gold prices, more specifically silver. Of course, silver has seen some ridiculously huge gains in the last weeks, and it's always difficult to know how to react to these things. So in today's video, I aim to give a bit of an overview of some of my thoughts and opinions on how to kind of cope, I suppose, with this. Have a think about what it is you want to achieve with your silver and what my buying or selling strategies are going forward into the next couple of weeks and months and potentially even years, because there's just so much unknowns coming down the road. Now, this video is not financial advice. I want to make that abundantly clear. All I want to do is tell you some of the ways that I look at and think about things such that you can form your own opinions and make your own decisions on what you want to do with your hard-earned cash. So please bear that in mind. Having watched this video, we've got some lovely, cool silver and gold shiny things to show here on the table as well. So take a moment, if you enjoy this video and all of this wonderful silver, to hit that thumbs up button if you wouldn't mind. So turbulent times. Now, turbulent times are really difficult to manage, and I know for myself in the last couple of weeks I've been almost glued to the silver and gold charts, just seeing where things are going to go, how things are going to end up. It's difficult to know. Nobody truly knows, and I think that's really important. There's a lot of people out there. Look at that wonderful sea of silver. There's a lot of people out there who are doing commentaries at the moment on where prices might go, and I think it's really, really important to take all of those with a pinch of salt, because nobody truly knows. Silver has got potential. Potential is the key word there. There are a myriad of different things that could happen with the world, with the markets, with silver prices, with gold prices, and the fact that there's a lot of commentary right now about this bull run, about the rise in silver, and people think it's the start of the end. People think it's the start of this run up to $100 an ounce silver. I've seen videos calling for $300 an ounce silver, $500, even $1,000 or more. And I can see silver going up even further. You know, we're certainly not out of the realms of possibility to go $30, $40, $50 within the next couple of months. It's going to be some really interesting times ahead with the US election coming up as well, second waves of coronavirus, loads of things are happening in the world right now, and nobody truly knows what's going to happen. But it's a maybe. Can I see it happening? Yeah, I'm coming around to the fact that silver is going to increase in price, I think, over time. There is just no doubt about that in my mind. But when that is going to happen is critical. And for a lot of people, buying silver is going to be on the agenda right now, because you are starting to see more of it in the media, starting to see a lot more of these YouTube videos like mine and plenty of others talking about the markets, and people are going to be looking at what they want to put their cash into, and safe haven assets are always the ones that people flock to. So buying in a bull market, is that a thing? Can you do that? And it's all very fine and well me sitting here with all of this silver and many more ounces in the safe and telling you all that buying silver right now is maybe a bad idea because the prices are high, but let's be honest, the prices could go even higher over the next couple of weeks. That does not mean that we should all run to the famous phrase from Only Fools and Horses. If you're American and you don't know that show, it's Quality, where Del Boy says, "This time next year we'll be millionaires." There is an air of that. People are looking at gold and silver and thinking, do you know what, in a year's time, this stuff is going to be sky high. It's going to be ridiculously high, and people are going to be able to cash out and make lots of profit and have a huge boon financially. I don't know about that. I really don't. I would never advocate anybody buying silver or gold for a short-term gain. There are certainly physical silver. There are so many barriers to that, and you are going to find those out quite quickly. That said, there are a lot of people who will advocate that any silver right now, less than $30, $40 an ounce, even 1 ounce American Eagles at $40 an ounce now for these coins, these 1 ounce just silver coins, $40 an ounce for these. They argue that is a good price because very, very soon silver's going to be $50 an ounce. But just ask yourself, what happens if silver stagnates, or what happens if silver goes down? These $40 an ounce eagles are not going to be sold back to dealers or the general public for that kind of price, certainly if the spot price of these wonderful metals goes down. So there is always an element of risk involved with any of these kind of purchase decisions, and I take that into account quite strongly when operating not only my own personal investments in silver and gold, but also my business, which is related to silver. So if you haven't seen or heard, I pour my own silver bars and I sell them as a business. That's part of what I do for a living. And for that business, it's a really interesting time because it forces you almost to buy silver as you go. Because, and let me explain, if silver continues to rise, if silver goes from where we are right now, $25, $26, $27 an ounce, and it say doubles to $50 an ounce, and I'm holding out for a pullback, it would be wonderful to hold out for that pullback that people are saying is coming. But if I'm a business and I sell, like I am at the moment with my 100-gram silver foreign bars, I'm selling 500 ounces worth of silver bars. If I don't restock, if I don't go and buy the new material right now, silver goes for $30, $40, $50 an ounce, my entire profit margin is completely gone, completely eroded. It's obviously dependent on how you do the accounting for these kind of things, but in my mind, that's how it works. You would replace a product that you sell like for like. So for me, I'm a buyer of silver right now because I have to be for my business. Otherwise, I'm putting my business in jeopardy. And there are arguments to be said, well, surely you could just hold out for a lower price and make more money on your profit margins. Yes, you probably could take that risk. But at the same time, there are a lot of arguments to say that silver is going to continue to rise. I do think, though, and I honestly do think, that there will be a pullback in silver and gold prices, but I think that it's going to be a rubber band style pullback into a catapult motion for higher prices. The sustainability of those higher prices, I guess, is the ultimate key question that lots of people will love to know the answer on. How do you tell when is the peak of this bull market so that you can sell all your gold and silver, get out when the going's good, make a huge profit and move on? That's the key. That's the unknown that nobody can tell you. And I genuinely do think there's a pullback coming. I think it's just got to look at it from like a simple logical point of view. We can only look at the past to inform what might happen in the future, and might happen is so key, so critical. And what has happened in the past is that with big gains in silver, you've always seen pullbacks, you've always seen dropping down in prices. Now, this could happen in one of two ways in my mind. We've seen recently some very, very high silver gold ratio prices in favor of silver with 100 plus, 120 to 1 silver gold ratios. There was a reason for that. There is a reason because markets around the world had to sell their silver, had to short, they were short on their investments, they needed cash, they had to sell something, and silver was the first to go. Gold was retained. So that is definitely something that could happen again as we see increased volatility in markets with secondary waves of coronavirus, secondary lockdowns, trouble with economies. I'm not even starting with the huge amount of debt that's being created right now. There's definitely a lot going to happen. And as such, things are going to go up, but it could be in that the fact that silver stays where it is and gold goes up even further, or silver goes down again because people have bought it all. They now want to take their profits out of it. It's a really difficult market to even think about predicting. And what I want to kind of say, I think the main message to get across in this video is that if you are new to silver and if you have not got the luxury like myself and probably a lot of the other silver tubers that you watch here on YouTube, if you don't have a foundation of a bunch of silver right now, is it a good time? Should you go out and buy a monster box of silver? The only person that can answer that question to you is yourself. If you are buying for the right reasons, then that is right for you. And nobody can tell you right or wrong otherwise. Personally, for me, in my situation, I do feel like there's a pullback coming for this metal price. However, I do foresee in the future $30, $40 an ounce silver, $50 an ounce silver is definitely possible by the end of this year, maybe into early next year. What I don't think is that silver will come down in the ratio such that it will become $100 an ounce, $200 an ounce, $300. I certainly don't think more than $100 an ounce. I think $100 an ounce silver would break the world. It would break the economies around the world. It would mean that something drastic has happened either to gold or to just general financial systems. And whilst that is distinctly possible, the fact that if we had massive hyperinflation of the US dollar or the pound, it would have some ridiculously far-reaching consequences. And I do think there's going to be inflation. I do think there's going to be financial hardships ahead, but I don't think there's going to be a complete collapse. I don't think there's going to be a Venezuelan or Zimbabwe complete eradication of value of currency for the big Western worlds. That said, there is a paradigm shift happening at the moment, in my opinion, and we are having to adjust to the new norm of this wonderful shiny stuff here being valued higher than we are used to in the recent past. And for me, so this is where I'll tell you about my strategies going forward when it comes to buying silver. So for me, at the moment, I am not buying a lot of investment silver for myself. The silver that I am buying is for my business, for the hand-poured side of things. And that is, it's separation from church and state, isn't it? There's two completely different hats that have to be worn when you're doing that kind of thing. And I know a lot of people out there who buy and sell on a little, sort of hobby basis, or even sort of smaller coin stores or dealers. You'll know what I'm talking about. You'll know that because of the volatility in the market right now, if you're selling silver as part of your business, you need to be restocking it almost immediately, because it's just not going to be practical to hold out for better prices. Despite the fact I think there's a pullback coming, I just don't think. I think there's a little bit of wishful thinking. So from my perspective as a buyer, I will be putting more cash, I'm afraid, into my good friend gold. I do think right now with the ratios coming down, gold looks more attractive than silver. Certainly from the premium perspective, I've always found gold to be much more attractive than silver. And I think that's only going to continue in the next couple of months, especially if that ratio comes further down. Now, of course, the argument, if the ratio is going to come even further down, that means surely it's a good time to buy silver. But no, I think actually, in my opinion, it's better to buy this stuff to have that protection, to have that liquidity. In my opinion, that is just much better. That said, if there is a pullback, if I see prices in the teens again for dollars, or down to 15, 16, 14, 15, 16 pounds an ounce in Great Britain pounds, that is going to be an interesting time for decision making, because we are facing some interesting decisions coming up, I think, in the UK for our silver investing. Brexit is coming. Brexit, a lot of people say it's already happened, it's here, but it hasn't. The implications of Brexit haven't fully hit us yet. And the difference is going to come in gold versus silver, because there's VAT on silver, and we won't have access to the European Union trade agreements anymore. So we will have to pay taxes on silver more so than gold. So the argument is going to be this might be the last opportunities to buy silver. So if there is a pullback in prices, I have to say I'm going to be very bullish on silver. I'm going to buy a lot of silver, and I'm going to buy a lot of capital gains tax exempt silver in the form of Britannia's Queen's Beasts, 10-ounce Queen Beasts. That is going to be my strategy. If there isn't that pullback that happens, I'm going to stick with gold. I'm going to stick with that as the longer term asset. And even though I would be buying silver at those lower prices, it's a way to get more gold in the future, in my opinion. It always has been. It's always been the means to buy the yellow shiny stuff, which is much more liquid, much more secure. And I don't mind holding on to silver for a good long time. I just don't hold faith in it as much as I do gold. But I do want to finish this video by saying that I am coming around more and more every day, every week that we go by in this crazy 2020 world that we live in. That silver is going to be the metal to watch, and just simply having silver is fantastic. So there's, I've seen a lot of videos doing, what do you do? Do you hold, do you sell, or do you buy? So at the moment, I'm definitely a holder. I'm not, in terms of my investment silver, I'm not a seller. I'm not going to cash that out now. For my business silver, of course, I'm running a business. If I don't sell stuff, I don't make a living. That's part of what I do. Put that to one side. Investment silver, I'm definitely holding on to it. I think it's got a lot more legs to go. I think if there's a pullback in prices, I will be purchasing more, and I'll be purchasing a decent quantity of it over gold. But if things kind of stay as they are, if the ratios stay as they are right now, I think gold is going to be where it is for me going forwards. So the final message that I do want to put in here is that the hype is real. The hype is definitely real at the moment, and that is definitely to be wary of. You really should be very, very wary of the hype in silver right now. And it's all fine and well thinking that this stuff could go to $100 an ounce, $300 an ounce, $500 an ounce. But it's not guaranteed by any stretch. And if you buy American Silver Eagles or Britannias at £30, $40 an ounce, whatever it might be, the chances of that metal price or that coming back after premiums is low, and it would require that $100 an ounce price mark to really gain something. And if we get to $100 an ounce on silver, gold will also have gone up, and in my opinion you can make just as much or even more money on that gold instead of silver. So there's definitely a place for both, but don't think like Del Boy in Only Fools and Horses that we'll be millionaires next year, because this stuff doesn't make you rich, it keeps you rich. It keeps your wealth, it keeps the money that you've got in your pocket, and it keeps it into the future. That is the message that I've said so many times on my channel before, and it's the one that I will continue to talk about in these turbulent times as well. So if you are interested in more discussions about this, then please do let me know. I'd love to know your opinions on the situation that we all find ourselves in right now. I haven't even talked about kind of the emotional side of watching spot prices and how to deal with the buying emotions and selling emotions right now. I think that's a really important topic and perhaps one for the future. So let me know what you'd like to hear in a future Ponderous Wednesday video. For those of you who are members of the BYB Rambling Society and have watched to minute, what are we at, 16 in this video, I thank you. I thank you so very much. You are the backbone of my channel, and big shout outs need to come to you guys. And we have some news to share for you ramblers if you have been watching this far. This is the first I'm mentioning of my channel. Memberships are a thing. Now look, I know memberships are not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm not changing the channel in any way. And you BYB Rambling Society members, whether you join down below and become official members and paid members for that and support the channel via the memberships, or not, the channel will not change. You will not see me making this a pay-to-view channel. There are a few perks which I'm going to implement and use as we go, and one of those perks is a little bit of behind-the-scenes unreleased footage here and there from silver pouring or prepping for coin videos. I like to think that that's a kind of cool little addition to the memberships. Beyond that, the biggest part of being a member is some exclusivity to some of our products that we are looking to release in the near future. A lot of what I sell in terms of hand-pulled silver gets snapped up so quickly on my website or via the Silver Forum or Instagram, but I often neglect you guys here on YouTube, which is, I think, wrong, because it's where I started. You guys absolutely rocked it for me. Look, I don't want to go into too much deeper about memberships. I'm going to do a whole video on them at some point, but basically if you want to join, there's a little join button down there, and you can become an official BYB Rambling Society member, so go and check them out if you would like to do so. Otherwise, remember to put the thumbs up on this video if you would not mind. It really does help everything that we do here on the channel. And please make sure that you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.